Okay, good morning. I am Sierra Stewart with Corefact, and thank you for joining today's 20-minute or less webinar. It's always kind of a goal and a fun thing of a challenge of mine to get through the material in under 20 minutes. Partially because you're busy, I'm busy. If we can get some just little bite-sized snippets of information out to you to help you with your business, then that can be hopefully helpful. But also, we know attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, and so we want to make sure that we're not just droning on and keep it high energy and keep it short. So again, as I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the Corefact Home Estimate. Really quickly, before I get into that, I just want to remind you, because it is a new tool, just to remind you, when you are in your account, your Corefact account that we have set up for you as a referring partner. And again, if you're joining us, this is for our referring partners who are not necessarily purchasing on their own, although maybe you order business cards or something, for your business materials. But as far as you're referring to real estate agents to purchase Corefact, you should have this referring partner toolkit. And just to share again what is in it, you will have downloadable content. So this is new. It's the top 10 postcards for 2025. This is a common question we have. You can download this and either print it or email it to somebody. Here are our Q3 promos, which are only available in the accounts that you refer. And so if they're going to corefact.com and signing up on their own, they are not going to get these. Only when you refer them are they going to see them, and they're actually going to see them up here in their notification section. So they don't even need to remember them, but this is a great leave behind piece, or if you want to have something to drop off for them, hey, I'm going to stop by and leave you a flyer about the promo codes that Corefact's offering for for Q3. That's a great little leave behind piece. And then the other, I'm not going to go through all of them for time's sake, but the other piece that's in here is you can order samples free of charge. And you can just go in, put in your address. We will ship them to you. Because it's out of your account, you are going to get the tracking information, which is super helpful, because then you're going to know when it's set to arrive, and you can follow along with UPS and see when it's going to be delivered. Maybe you don't go into the office all the time, or you can see where it is in transit and when it's processing. And you can order either the sample teal luxury marketing ones that has the foil and varnish on it, an elite sample pack, or just our starter kind of overview of the sample pack. So I just wanted to quickly touch base on that, but let's look at the home estimate. So the home estimate is one of the key selling points of Corefact, in that it's a differentiator between us and other direct mail postcard companies. If we go into the postcard section, just as a quick reminder, you're probably all aware of this, but I wanted to just start from the beginning. The home estimate it's a design element, but also it's a tracking element. And if you go I went into the home estimate section, all of these have the home estimate opportunity on the front of the card. This is also available on any back. So if you've chosen a sports schedule, or a bright side card featuring an animal and asking for referrals, or maybe it's a market update piece, whatever you've chosen for the front, once you select it, the back will always have the option for the home estimate. The section I went into has it on both sides. So it would be on the front, and then potentially you could choose it for the back side. And what you're looking at is this QR code. I like using the home estimate with the map. Why the map? Because it gets the attention of the recipient, the homeowner, by using variable data. So this is showing their home on a map. And this is important to know, because a lot of people see a map with a pinpoint and think that's the listing address. And what's important to communicate to them, and you'll see an aha moment when you explain this to them and they get it, is that this is not the listing address that they're promoting, or some listing that's arbitrary. This is a map of the home that you're sending to, and everyone's going to get a different map on their postcard. So it's true variable data. Why do we do that? Get their attention so they pay attention and they take action. And every good marketing piece should have a trackable call to action, and we build that in with our home estimate. Okay, so now here's the front, and as I mentioned, you will have the option to select or kind of filter your back designs. If you choose one with the QR code, you're going to see all the home estimate map options or home estimate options on the back as well with that QR code defaulting to our home estimate. Again, I like the ones with the maps, so I might filter by that because I think it's a great attention getter. I think it's a really neat visual element. But if somebody doesn't want to use the map, they can take that off and see there are others without the map design on it. And then you can see here too, team versus individual. If they want to do property promotion, they could do that. So this is interesting. I'll take off QR code, but I've done the home estimate on the front for this particular card. So maybe I don't want to do it on the back. Maybe I want to do a property promotion on the back. But again, everything's available with all the fronts and backs, so you can mix and match. So what happens when somebody scans this QR code? And let's go into that data a little bit. If you have your phone with you, and I'm sure you all do, like I do, because we're attached to our phones, right? You can scan this image and follow along with me. And I am going to actually do this on desktop so you can see it. And I'll put in our demo code here. There it is. And what you should see now, hopefully everybody had a chance to scan it, is it's going to verify the property. This is our demo account, and so people do change it from time to time. I'm actually going to put in my old address for demonstration purposes. I don't live here anymore, but you can see where I used to live. And it was 2.5, call it 1800, and like 7,000. Okay, before I hit confirm my update, I want to give a key point to you, which is if a homeowner scanned it, didn't do anything else, and just swiped that window closed, we still captured the scan. So they don't even need to hit confirm my update. I happened to just update because I wanted to show better data, and I knew that Sacramento one was going to have an issue. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if they don't take any other action and they close the window with the scan, we still do count that scan because that QR code is tied to the address and the sending agent, the person who ordered the card. So we are going to then text the agent and let them know that the person at that address scanned the card. So what I've done here is I've put in a different address, and they're welcome to do that. And if they change the address, the agent's going to get notified that the address has been updated. So that's pretty interesting. Why would they change the address or change this information? Well, maybe records have different square footage. Maybe they had an addition. Maybe they own multiple properties and they want to see what a different property would be worth. Or maybe they want to put in their neighbor's address. They can put in whatever they want because they can, and you can do this too. If you're ever demoing this, you can, maybe you're sitting down with an agent and they have a current listing. Put the listing address in and see what it shows. I love playing with the data because that's how we have conversations. That's how we learn. So I'll hit confirm my update, and I'm going to wait till questions till the end because I have a lot of information to go through, but I'll hit confirm my update. And what it's going to show me now is, ooh, that value went up. That's great. It's going to show me sold and active homes in the area. And where is this data coming from? Okay, so sold data is coming from county record, and that is something that we know that there's a little bit of a delay to county record being recorded. It can be anywhere from 15 days to up to maybe 60 days. So it kind of just depends on your area and how quickly the transactions are being recorded. But that's where the county record is coming from. You'll notice a little pop-up came up. So this was maybe about a minute after I entered in the information. Why did this come up? Because at this point, we have only the information on the mailing list that was provided. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well, which is name and address. If we have them select on-site assessment, for example, it's going to require an email address. It's going to, on these other ones, require either phone number, email, collecting additional information for them so that the agent can follow up. Okay, but back to the solds. That again is that's coming from public record. active homes, and it doesn't look like there's anything active. There's one up here. I mean, this is just the state of our market, right? It's so sad. Active homes are pulling in from List Hub. So this is what I want to talk about for a minute. List Hub is a national aggregator of MLSs that we are paying to have access to, but it's got some caveats and the data is not perfect. So, for example, MetroList in the Sacramento area does not syndicate with List Hub. And so for Sacramento area, we know that we're not getting active listings unless we're getting it directly from a brokerage. Other issues with List Hub are that in some cases, if the broker has not chosen to syndicate to Corefact through their List Hub account, every brokerage has a List Hub account, but for brokerages that have not chosen to syndicate to Corefact through List Hub, we're not going to see their listings either. Couple issues with List Hub. It works pretty well. We're seeing about 80 to 85% of the listings, but if they're not showing up, that could be one of the reasons. But regardless, we're going to now show a combination of sold and actives, and you can see here the range. So this is kind of the default setting and what we would see by default without making any changes. This is going to show data going back, going out a mile and going back 6 months. Those are things we can change, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. But by default, those are going to be the settings. So we do have some default settings if someone's just using their account, but what I want to show you is those can all be edited. So if we go in, this is where we're getting into the deep dive. This is like the secret menu stuff. So pay attention because people don't always know this, and this is how they really fine tune it. So sometimes people say, oh, I don't like that data. You know, you're not getting good data. Can I provide my own data? Yes, you can. So number one, they can provide their own list of sales data if they would like to provide that. We can upload it into their account. The challenge with that and the warning I would share is that the data is static. It's not updated unless they choose to update it. And these codes, when someone scans a QR code, they're long living. So these codes could, I think I told the story, you may have heard this. We had an agent reached out to by a client that had carried around the postcard in her purse for like 2 years before contacting the agent. So these things last a long time. If I'm not updating those values and sharing them with Corefact, and this still exists, someone could be scanning really and seeing really, really old data. So if you're going to provide the data, if they're going to provide it, just make sure that they are continuing to do so that we're getting updated data. But when we go into my account and we go into home estimate preferences, this is where you can do some little fine tuning that I want to talk about. So as I mentioned, if we are providing a list, a Corefact list, or in many cases, if you're providing a list, you may have additional information about the property, such as, maybe the equity value or different things that we don't have. So you're going to have maybe more data if you're getting it from one of your resources, but you may not have email and phone number as part of that list when you're providing it to them. Now, a lot of times what will happen is someone will scan the QR code, they'll get the notification, and they'll say, I only have their name and address. How do I reply to them? So in that case, if you have a tool that you can offer that can provide that, that's great. Another option is they can require email or phone number upon looking at the home estimate. So before they get to this point, it would be kind of grayed out and it would require, and you could choose one or the other as you saw. I don't have to select both. I could either do require phone number or require email. One thing, or require CAPTCHA if I want to do that as well. One thing that we know is that requiring additional data is a blocker, right? People are not as willing to take those next steps and engage. But some of your agents may be fine with that because, from their mindset, it could be, I only want to work with or reach out to highly motivated sellers. And so by requiring their email or phone number, I know that it's not necessarily as cold of a call. It's a warm call. They've given me permission to call them by putting in their phone number. But it's kind of a mixed thing. What we know from experience with mailing thousands and thousands of pieces over the years is that it takes time. It takes time to build awareness, to nurture relationships. So, best practice and what we've seen work the best is not to require those and to let the consumer or the seller their timeline, and when they are ready to approach and share their email or phone number directly, that they will share it. But this is an option. So if someone says, I just need a way to get their phone numbers and emails, I don't care if I have a lower response rate, here we go. This is an option for them. Okay, main call to action, you can actually set the verbiage. This is at the top right of the home estimate. So if we want to change this sell or buy, we can change that. Maybe we want to change it to something else. You can choose if you want to show the buyer or seller tips. So that's up here. Maybe you don't want to show either of those. Did you even know these were here? These are just downloadable little tips. Maybe you haven't even seen these before. Oh, and I just closed on that and I wanted to show it. That was a pop-up that said, would you like to receive this on a monthly basis? That's another way for us to prompt giving us their email address. If they provide that, we will send out on a monthly basis a link to basically back here for them to check their home value every month, sent on behalf of the agent. And so it is a free email. Now they will have had to make a Corefact purchase in the last 60 days. So if this won't last for perpetuity, we do need them to be engaged with Corefact. But as long as they are actively using Corefact, then that will continue to go out. Okay, back to the home estimate preferences. You can show if you want to maybe not include sold or active, some logos, etc. So that's kind of on the home estimate. Now, the other way we can edit is with the database in the farming area. So by there, we're going to go into the My Contacts section, and we're going to go into Contact List. And the little toolbar here, if we go into Estimate Settings, okay, I got 2 minutes. Oh my gosh, am I going to do this? Okay, we can do this. We can do this in 2 minutes. Let's go. All the questions will be at the end, so I'm going to make my 20 minutes. You can set a floor price and a ceiling price. Okay, this works super well if you've got neighborhoods that are near each other and the sizes are similar, but maybe maybe one's very high end and luxury and one's not. Maybe this side is more like lakefront and this side isn't. So maybe we don't want to show anything below 800,000. Maybe we don't want to show anything above 2 million. Whatever it is, you can set the floor and ceiling price on those comps that are being shown. And then, as I mentioned, we go by default 6 months back and a mile out. Either of those can be adjusted. So maybe they want to go out much further. It's a rural area. Maybe it's a densely populated area. They want to go back, in. Any of these will likely affect the number of results that are shown. So we definitely recommend that they impersonate accounts to see how this affects the home estimate. And then the other thing is the value adjustment. Right now we have this set at flat by default. There have been times, depending on market, where we know homes are just increasing in value all the time. And we've actually had this set as default at 105 or 110. Currently it's at 100. We could actually maybe do this, but we just set it as 100, and we meet on this internally, and we're aware of what's going on in the area. But again, this is a national setting, and so right now we're just leaving it at 100. But if they know that home values are increasing or decreasing, now this could also be a strategy. We have had agents that say, you know what, I'm going to put it at 120 because I think I can get a lot for their listing, or I'm going to put it way under so that they get upset and call me, and then I can start a conversation with them. So we have agents that do it one of both ways, so that it's a strategy that they can get people to interact with them. And then you would just hit save, and that is going to affect what is then shown over here on the home estimate. Okay, so I am up with my 20 minutes. That is what I wanted to cover as far as the home estimate and getting a little deeper into the data and some options. So hopefully that was helpful. I will stay on because I'm sure there are a bunch of questions, but I wanted to, for those of you who only had a lot of 20 minutes for this, feel free to say goodbye. And then this will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel when it's ready, and you can watch it again there. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining, and hopefully that helped you learn a little bit more about the Corefact Home Estimate. Take care, everyone. Bye.